Let's start at the very beginning, when George Clooney, Hollywood's most eligible bachelor, finally met Amal Alamuddin, the brilliant human rights lawyer. The world watched in awe as these two became one of the most stunning and celebrated couples in the spotlight. Amal, known for her stunning intellect and humanitarian work, and George, the suave and charming actor, seemed like a match made in heaven. Their whirlwind romance culminated in a lavish wedding in Venice, Italy, in 2014, where they promised to conquer the world together. But even in the most beautiful fairy tales, things can go wrong, and it seems like this one may have reached its end. So, why exactly has Amal decided to take this dramatic step? Let's break it down. One major factor that has put a strain on Amal and George's marriage is the relentless pressure of public life. Being married to one of the world's most famous actors is no small feat, and Amal, known for her commitment to her career, found herself under constant scrutiny. George, as we know, thrives in the spotlight, but Amal has always been more private about her life and career. Over the years, as the Clooneys became the epitome of a power couple, their every move was analyzed, criticized, and turned into tabloid fodder. Amal, a human rights lawyer, has always been passionate about her work, advocating for the rights of the oppressed and standing up against the injustices of the world. Her schedule has always been packed with high-profile cases and global engagements. Unfortunately, it seems this overwhelming workload began to affect her personal life. She was often away on humanitarian missions while George spent time on movie sets or indulging in his philanthropic efforts. The distance between them grew, not just physically, but emotionally as well. As time went on, the question on everyone's mind was when the Clooneys would have children. Amal and George welcomed twins, Ella and Alexander, into the world in 2017. While George was thrilled with fatherhood, Amal took on the primary responsibility of raising the children while continuing her demanding career. However, the balancing act between motherhood, her career, and her role as George's wife started to take a toll on her. Raising children with George, who was away for long periods filming, meant that Amal had to be the anchor. Over the years, there were reports that Amal was struggling with the pressures of balancing it all. While George was an attentive father, he often wasn't there as much as she would have liked, creating an emotional disconnect between them. Now, let's talk about another factor that may have contributed to this dramatic decision: rumors of infidelity. There have been whispers in Hollywood about George's wandering eye and potential indiscretions. Although George Clooney has always been known for his charming personality, it's hard to ignore the fact that he's a man who has been at the center of multiple love triangles over the years. Amal, with her world-class career, likely knows how to spot the signs of a strained marriage. While George and Amal have always been very tight-lipped about their personal life, sources close to the couple have hinted at some underlying tension in their marriage. Reports claim that Amal's decision to file for divorce may have been fueled by the growing rumors of George's flirtations with other women, which allegedly created a lack of trust between the couple. Trust is the foundation of any strong relationship, and if that's broken, it's difficult to rebuild. One of the key reasons Amal may have made the decision to end the marriage is her desire for a quieter, more peaceful life. Despite George being known for his philanthropy and activism, the constant attention of the paparazzi, tabloids, and public life became more of a burden than a blessing for Amal. In the early years of their marriage, Amal thrived in her own career, making major strides in the human rights field. However, it seemed that as their marriage progressed, the more she found herself in the shadow of George's celebrity status. As an incredibly successful and respected woman, Amal may have realized that her own ambitions and the stress of constantly living under the public's microscope simply weren't worth it. Her commitment to justice and her career could have easily been overshadowed by her marriage to a Hollywood icon. Amal and George Clooney have clearly led very different lives, both before and after their marriage. While George has enjoyed the perks of being an A-list actor, Amal has focused on her international career, traveling across the globe and advocating for human rights. The two have had a lot of love and admiration for each other, but the dynamic has shifted in recent years. As they've both entered different phases of their lives, the separation in their priorities seems to have grown more apparent. Amal, ever the fiercely independent woman, might have felt that her relationship with George was more of an emotional burden than a partnership. The pressures of balancing the expectations of being married to one of the most famous men in the world, coupled with her own need for personal space and career growth, may have led her to decide that it was time to move on. So, there you have it. The real reasons behind Amal Clooney's decision to file for divorce from George Clooney. What do you think about this shocking turn of events? Could the pressures of fame, infidelity rumors, and the challenges of a high-profile marriage really lead to the end of this iconic couple? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more in-depth celebrity news.